Welcome back to Rush Hour Reads. Today's episode is all about grit, that special combination of passion and perseverance that keeps us going even when things get tough. We're diving into Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance by Angela Duckworth, a book that shows how talent alone isn't enough for success. It's about working hard, staying committed, and never giving up. In today's episode, we'll unpack key takeaways from Duckworth's research and provide you with practical tips for cultivating grit in your own life. Whether you're working toward a big goal, navigating a challenging career, or just looking for ways to boost your resilience, this episode is for you. Let's get started. Angela Duckworth is a psychologist and professor at the University of Pennsylvania, and her research focuses on the concept of grit. In Grit, she explores why some people are able to persevere through obstacles and achieve long-term success, while others give up when things get hard. Duckworth argues that grit, more than talent or intelligence, is the key to success in nearly any field, whether it's business, sports, academics, or even personal goals. Duckworth became interested in grit when she noticed that the people who seemed to succeed in their careers or personal pursuits weren't necessarily the most talented, but they had something else, an unshakable determination and an ability to stay focused on their long-term goals. This book is a deep dive into what makes gritty people different and how we can all develop more grit in our own lives. Takeaway number 1. Grit is about passion and perseverance. The first major takeaway from Duckworth's research is that grit is a combination of two key qualities, passion and perseverance. It's not just about working hard for a little while. It's about consistently putting in the effort over the long haul, driven by a deep passion for what you're doing. Gritty people are those who stay committed to their goals for years, even when progress is slow or obstacles appear. Duckworth explains that this kind of passion isn't fleeting. It's a sustained, long-term interest that doesn't waver with setbacks. Practical tip: to develop more grit in your own life, start by identifying something you're truly passionate about. Ask yourself, what are the things you're willing to work at, even when they're hard or boring? Focusing on these long-term goals can help you cultivate the perseverance needed to keep going when things get tough. Takeaway number 2. Talent isn't enough. One of Duckworth's most important findings is that talent is often overrated. In our society, we tend to celebrate people who seem naturally gifted, whether it's in music, sports, or academics. But Duckworth's research shows that while talent can give someone a head start, it's grit, the ability to keep working and improving, that ultimately leads to success. She even developed a formula to explain this. Talent x effort equals skill, and skill x effort equals achievement. This means that effort counts twice as much as talent when it comes to achieving success. Gritty people know that no matter how talented you are, without sustained effort, you won't reach your full potential. Practical tip: stop comparing yourself to people who seem to have more natural talent. Instead, focus on putting in the consistent effort to improve. Whether it's practicing a skill, learning something new, or just showing up every day, remember that effort is what really makes the difference. Takeaway number 3. Growth mindset is key. Duckworth's research aligns with the concept of a growth mindset, developed by psychologist Carol Dweck. People with a growth mindset believe that they can improve their abilities through hard work and perseverance, whereas people with a fixed mindset believe their talents are set in stone. Gritty people tend to have a growth mindset. They believe that failure is a part of the learning process and that setbacks are opportunities to grow. This attitude allows them to keep pushing forward, even when things get hard. Practical tip: next time you face a challenge, try to adopt a growth mindset. Instead of seeing failure as a sign that you're not good enough, see it as feedback on what you need to improve. This mental shift can make it easier to stick with tough goals. Takeaway number 4. Grit can be developed. One of the most empowering ideas in grit is that grit isn't something you're born with. You can develop it. Duckworth shares stories of people who weren't initially gritty but learned to be over time, whether through life experiences, mentorship, or setting challenging goals. People can build more grit by consistently choosing to persevere. Parents, teachers, and leaders can also help others develop grit by encouraging a culture of perseverance, celebrating effort over results, and normalizing failure as part of the journey. Practical tip: if you want to develop more grit, start by setting a long-term goal that really matters to you. Then, break it down into smaller, manageable steps. Celebrate progress along the way and remind yourself that the journey will have ups and downs, but sticking with it is what counts. So, how can we apply these lessons from grit to our own lives? Here are a few practical strategies to help you build more grit. Starting today, set long-term goals. Gritty people have clear long-term goals that they're deeply passionate about. Take some time to think about what matters most to you, whether it's in your career, personal life, or a specific skill you want to develop. Write it down and remind yourself of that goal regularly. Practice persistence. Choose a small habit or goal that challenges you and make a commitment to stick with it, even when it gets hard. Whether it's working out, learning a language, or starting a side project, persistence is key to building grit. Reframe setbacks. When you hit a roadblock, instead of getting discouraged, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this setback help me grow? Embracing failure as part of the process is crucial to developing resilience. Surround yourself with gritty people. Duckworth found that our environment plays a big role in our ability to stick with tough goals. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, hold you accountable, and inspire you to keep pushing forward. To wrap things up, Grit by Angela Duckworth is an inspiring reminder that success isn't just about talent. It's about passion, perseverance, and hard work. The good news is that grit can be developed, and by applying the lessons from this book, you can start building more resilience in your own life. For me, one of the biggest takeaways is that effort counts twice as much as talent. It's so easy to get discouraged when we don't see immediate results, but remembering that consistent effort is what leads to success can be a powerful motivator. What about you? Which takeaway resonated most with you? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them with me on social media or leave a comment on this episode. Next week, we'll be exploring Mindset by Carol Dweck, another game-changing book about how our beliefs shape our success. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for joining me on Rush Hour Reads. I hope you found today's episode on grit helpful and that you can start applying these strategies in your life. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share it with friends or coworkers who could benefit from Duckworth's powerful insights. Stay tuned for more impactful reads, and until next time, this is Rush Hour Reads, reminding you that passion and perseverance are the keys to success. Keep going, stay gritty, and never give up.